This is step one of the CPTSD compass. Recognize your trauma cycle. Healing begins with awareness. You can't change what you don't see. Trauma isn't just about what happened in the past. It's about the patterns that still repeat in your body, your emotions, and your relationships today. This is your trauma cycle. It might look like overreacting to small things, shutting down when someone gets too close, or always assuming the worst will happen. You're not broken. You are stuck in survival mode. And your body learns to live that way to protect you. Now we are going to help you see those patterns gently and clearly, and we are going to help you dispose of what you no longer need. Start by tracking what triggers you. Use a small notebook or a free app like Daily or Moon Notes or Reflectly. A right amount of writing is not defined. Even just a few lines per day can be enough. But you should write down as much as you want, without being ashamed of what's on the page. After all, that is you, and nothing's wrong with what you feel just because some particular person you have in mind might judge or even pity what you wrote. Remember that nobody can read that journal unless you want to confide them with it. It's just you and yourself, and you need to learn to trust and accept and love yourself, because behind the trauma there is a whole individual capable of everything. Each day, take at least 10 to 15 minutes to reflect on what moments felt emotionally intense, even if they seem small. For example, you might feel rejected when someone doesn't respond to a message. You might feel unexplainable rage during an argument. You might feel like everyone's around ready to judge you or attack you at the first given opportunity. You might go completely numb in a meeting or a family dinner, etc. Other subtle triggers. Pay attention to your senses, especially your sense of smell. It has the power to trigger a wave of emotions and stomach tightness when encountered with a fragrance or odor related to a past traumatic event. And you need to be actively aware in order to recollect something from the memory. Certain music, specific food you used to eat in the past, or particular landscapes can as well be a trigger. Even your sense of touch can be a gold mine of reflection. How does it make you feel when someone gives you a friendly tap on the shoulder or knee, or whatever other form of physical contact? This can be especially stressful if you have been physically or sexually bullied or abused at some point in your life. Learn to note all of that down and, when journaling, describe what happened, what you felt in your body, tightness, heat, shutting down, and what thoughts came with it, like, I'm not safe or I'm not good enough. Other thoughts related to shame, fear, etc. This process is called trigger mapping, and it helps you begin seeing how your nervous system responds to everyday stresses that echo old pain. Once you've tracked a few events, take time, once or twice a week, to look back over them. Ask yourself, when have I felt like this before? And my next suggestion is that you also try meditation. I know for you this might sound challenging, especially because maybe you are limiting the definition of meditation to sitting cross legged and breathing with eyes closed. That is, of course, an excellent exercise for self control, and I highly suggest that you try it, even if it's just for 5 to 10 minutes, be it in nature or at home, wherever you feel most comfortable, and feel free to use background calming audios or guiding voices if you need. But another type of meditation, and I bet this will be fun for you, might be listening to music with your coffee or favorite drink at hand, or might be taking a free walk wherever your legs take you without defined restrictive destination. As long as this habit becomes a loving place where you can think and reflect, that's what I define as meditation. Try to trace the emotional reaction back to earlier experiences. Was there a time in childhood when you felt that same rejection, fear, or powerlessness? Who was involved? What role did you have to play back then to stay safe? You don't need perfect memories. Even a felt sense, an emotional flash, or intuitive link is enough. Those patterns are often unconscious and deeply personal. For one person, being interrupted might feel like an attack. For another, it might feel like being erased, a memory of growing up ignored. This connection building practice, sometimes called trauma association work, is supported by research in trauma focused cognitive therapy and somatic psychology. A study published in Psychological Trauma Theory, Research, Practice, and Policy from 2020 found that trauma survivors who journaled and reflected on emotional triggers over 3 to 4 weeks significantly improve their self-regulation and reduce dissociation. Dr. Bessel van der Kolk, author of The Body Keeps the Score, teaches that healing starts by re-establishing the connection between our sensations, emotions, and memories, because trauma fragments them. Dr. Ruth Lanius has shown in neuroimaging studies that trauma disrupts the brain's ability to integrate present experience with past memory. But she also found that this function improves when people begin naming and linking their reaction to their trauma history. Even simply noticing and labeling your feelings without trying to fix them can help calm your limbic system and re engage the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain that helps you think clearly and choose your actions. Now let's look at your goals for step 1. For now, don't try to change anything. Just observe, learn the shape of your trauma cycle. Stick with this step for at least 2 weeks, ideally a full month, and notice how it has become a habit and has affected you that far. You are not going to want to quit. Give your brain and body time to learn your patterns and start making connections. This step isn't just about collecting data, it's about building a new kind of self awareness that's rooted in compassion, not judgment. Remember, trauma lives in the details, and healing begins when you gently return your attention to those details, not to relieve them, but to reclaim them. Because you can't step out of a loop until you know you're in one. Thank you for your attention, and if you find this video informative so far, you are welcome in the next video for step 2.